Charles Dennis Buczynski, better known as Charles Bronson, served in the U.S. Army Air Force from 1943 to 1945 before becoming one of Hollywood's iconic tough guys and the face of the Death Wish film franchise. Before his rise to fame, Bronson's life was marked by a humble upbringing. His service in World War II set the stage for his Hollywood career, where his unique charisma and rugged persona captured audiences worldwide. The following is Charles Bronson's military journey and the lasting impact he made both in film and among his fellow servicemen. Buczynski was born on November 3, 1921, in Ehrenfeld, Pennsylvania, into a humble Lithuanian family. As the 11th of 15 children, he grew up in a household where Lithuanian, Russian, and Greek were spoken, though English was not. The Buczynski family lived in the coal-rich Allegheny Mountains, and Buczynski's early years were shaped by hardship. The death of his father brought additional financial strain, forcing the family to navigate the challenges of the Great Depression. He initially worked in the mine office and later in the mines themselves, where he earned a meager $1 for each ton of coal he extracted. The Buczynski family was extremely poor, often struggling with hunger and lacking essentials like proper clothing. At one point, Charles even had to wear his sister's dress to school due to the lack of clothes. Despite these hardships, he became the first in his family to graduate from high school. He continued working in the mines until 1943, when, at age 21, he responded to the call for able-bodied men and enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Forces to support the war effort. The Army would mark the beginning of new things for Bronson. In an attempt to tarnish his reputation, the media printed claims that Bronson never actually served as a bomber gunner in World War II, but rather drove a delivery truck for the 760th Mess Squadron in Kingman, Arizona. However, his colleagues were quick to come to his defense, stating that he did indeed fly as a nose gunner and not a driver in the squadron, leading to apologies from U.S. newspapers. Buczynski attended gunnery school with the 760th Flexible Gunnery Training Squadron in Kingman, Arizona, where he trained to serve as a nose gunner on one of World War II's most iconic aircraft, the Boeing B-29 Superfortress. A nose gunner is a crew member responsible for operating a machine gun or turret located in the aircraft's nose or front section to defend enemy fighters. This role was vital during World War II and other early aviation eras when bomber aircraft were especially susceptible to enemy attacks. Despite his Pennsylvania roots, Charles spoke English with such a strong accent that his fellow servicemen thought he was an immigrant. He served with the 61st Bombardment Squadron, part of the Guam-based 39th Bombardment Group, conducting combat missions over the Japanese home islands. Buczynski flew 25 missions in the Pacific Theater and was awarded a Purple Heart for wounds sustained in action. After the war, he was discharged and took on various odd jobs. He was a private man who rarely spoke about his war experiences. While working in Atlantic City, New Jersey, he met a troupe of actors from Philadelphia on vacation. This encounter introduced him to theater, sparking his interest in acting as a possible path to a better future. In 1947, Buczynski met Harriet Tendler, a fellow aspiring actor, at an acting school in Philadelphia. Though Harriet came from a well-off dairy farming family and Charles was a penniless former coal miner, they gained her family's approval and married in 1949. The Tendler family supported the young couple as they pursued careers in show business, and they went on to have 2 children together. By 1951, Buczynski began landing small roles, appearing in 10 films over 2 years. Notably, he played Vincent Price's deaf-mute assistant Igor in House of Wax, 1953. Director André de Toth cast him again in Riding Shotgun, 1954, and Crime Wave, 1954. However, with McCarthyism spreading, Buczynski needed a less Slavic stage name to distance himself from his Eastern European heritage. He chose the name Bronson, which suited the tough stoic roles he was increasingly taking on. As Charles Bronson, he began to secure more roles in both television and film, with his rugged appearance and on-screen presence making him a natural fit for crime stories, westerns, and noir dramas. His first leading role came in ABC's detective drama Man with a Camera, 1958 to 1960, where he played Mike Kovac, a combat photographer turned freelancer. Bronson's career gained momentum as he took on lead roles in smaller films and strong supporting parts in larger productions. His breakthrough came with his role in John Sturges' The Magnificent Seven, 1960, followed by a lead role as the Tunnel King in Sturges' The Great Escape, 1963. Despite his growing success, he struggled to secure leading roles in major films. After divorcing his first wife, Harriet, in 1965, Bronson continued to gain attention with a prominent role in The Dirty Dozen 1967, though as the third lead. In 1968, he married actress Jill Ireland, and they shared a prolific partnership, co-starring in 15 films and raising 2 children together, along with children from their previous marriages. As the 60s transitioned to the 70s, Bronson took up more European film projects. Sergio Leone praised him highly for his work on the epic spaghetti western Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968, which, while a financial flop in the States, was huge in Europe and vindicated by history as a feat of cinema. Bronson was the leading man in French thriller Rider on the Rain, 1970, which won a Golden Globe for Best Foreign Language Film. After starring in several more European films over the next couple of years, Bronson won a special Golden Globe Henrietta Award for World Film Favorite, Male, an accolade he shared with Sean Connery. With these successes, Bronson finally became Hollywood's biggest draw, commanding a salary of $1 million per film. The boy who once struggled with poverty and lacked proper clothing was now living in a luxurious Bel Air mansion. He landed his most iconic role as widower Paul Kersey in Death Wish 1974, a part he would reprise 4 times in Death Wish 2, 1982, Death Wish 3, 1985, Death Wish 4, The Crackdown, 1988, and Death Wish 5, The Face of Death, 1994, marking his final theatrical film role at the age of 73. Bronson made several films with Death Wish director Michael Winner and action director J. Lee Thompson. However, his tough guy image worked against him when he auditioned for the role of Superman in the 1978 film, with Christopher Reeve ultimately being cast. In 1990, Bronson's second wife, Jill, passed away from breast cancer. He remarried in 1998 to actress Kim Weeks, the same year he retired from acting due to health issues. At the age of 81, Charles Bronson passed away on August 30, 2003, from respiratory failure caused by metastatic lung cancer. Bronson was not what one might typically consider a World War II hero. He was simply a soldier fulfilling his duty, a duty that may have been shaped by the limited options available to him at the time. Nonetheless, he gave his best effort, and the Purple Heart he earned serves as a testament to his selflessness and dedication to his country during his 3 years of service.